And we are going live on Facebook again.
Are we live?
Not yet. Now we're going live.
Do we have any kind of topics we're going into it with?
It's starting.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Transgurus, everybody. I hope everybody has had a nice, beautiful week.
Transgurus.
So I'm not sure if many people are already here, but hi.
I got something I can talk about till somebody jumps in. Okay. I got a hold the other day, and I've talked about this many times on Transgurus as well as to many young up-and-coming trans people. Take pictures of yourself every month, and over the course of a year, 2 years, your brain will be able to actually see how much you've evolved. Anyway, I walked the walk that I talk, and I got pictures that went back to the beginning of my transition before my titties even began to grow, just starting to blossom. And I had put up on Transgurus 3 pictures back when I was in my 20s. But the point I'm just trying to say is I looked at pictures for 3 hours and I saw myself. Yes, there was some hard times, there was some good times, there was some great times, there was some emotional, but I went through a 3-hour window of looking at those pictures, and what a mind-boggling experience it was. And I've been telling people about taking pictures and the power of it. Well, I got to experience the power of it in a 3-hour ordeal when I was looking at my pictures from when I began to transition and all these things, and it brought back all these memories and times and good times. I mean, what I'm trying to say, you know, whatever, but the point is that before somebody signs in, I'm just trying to stress to a lot of newbies out there or people that are at some point that, you know, to take pictures and to document your journey. It's mind-boggling to see how far we have come. And what I'm trying to say is your subconscious mind, when it looks at those pictures, now you see yourself in the mirror every single day, you put your makeup on every day. What I'm just trying to say, everything is, it's not like that shock factor is there. Whereas I looked at my pictures from the beginning over a 3-hour period, I saw my growth over 10 years. I only had pictures of a 10-year period. But what I'm saying is in that 10-year period, you know, everything from people I was hanging around to people I was going out with to just all the experiences and things that I didn't even remember. But it was some really, really powerful stuff that subconsciously in our brain registers that were not the same. And I'm just going to tell you that, and then I'll let somebody else talk because I'm not on my best today. But, you know, what we vibrate is what the universe vibrates back. And I know that people, a lot of it is bullshit. And a lot of people don't believe in it. A lot of people can't grasp it. Well, I'm just telling you, this last year, I've changed my vibrations, and it's so obvious that the vibrations, the universe. I went to the doctor the other day, Monday, with Ella, a week ago or whatever it was. And I'm walking out, and a guy gets up, goes and opens the door for me. and I'm in a grocery store and a guy, I mean, when I'm just trying to say all these different things that I'm talking about, it's because I'm vibrating differently with the universe. And part of it is because subconsciously, my subconscious and my conscious are connecting and accepting and embracing who I am. And as a result, my vibration, I put it this way, you know, a lot of times I didn't feel good with myself in many situations, especially around guys. I always had a problem there. But my voice had been working on, although with my voice, I got COVID and it fucked up my voice, excuse my language, but my voice went down the tubes. It was so much better. But anyway, I'm not trying to be negative. I'm just trying to say is all these things are part of the journey. And because I went down that road, I'm able to vibrate differently because that's my essence that I'm putting out. That's all.
And that is absolutely beautiful. Anyway, thank you for your introduction. We have been putting some photographs of people transitioning, and it has been apparently very, very welcome. What happened? Okay. So, hey, how's everybody doing then? Raj, you want to tell something?
Doing great, and happy to be here. Hi, everyone across the world. Bonnie, I have to say those pictures, gorgeous, honey.
Thank you.
Gorgeous. You are a cute young thing, and you're a cute older thing now. But I was like, look at Bon Bon. Oh my God. I'm glad that you shared them. I really am. You looked great. And I know it was a moment in time, and you probably look at that picture and see so many different things. Because like when I look at pictures of me from the past, it's a moment in time, and I might, I look a certain way in the picture, but then I start to think about how I was feeling during that time, what I was going through, the people that were in my life, my circle of friends at that time. So that saying a picture's worth 1,000 words, it is so true. It's so true. You look beautiful.
And those pictures were 2 years prior to my SRS. So
Wow.
They were probably only 3.5 years into transition, or 3 years, 3.5 years. And I got much better after surgery. But what I'm saying is the smile on my face, and the happiness and the joy. I look at that and I just go, wow. And I actually sent him to my son and said, did I look happy when I was younger? Anyway, because I was happy. Anyway.
Okay, Jimmy, what about you? Anything to start?
Yeah, everything in my world is exactly the way it's supposed to be.
Okay.
And we've gotten off to a pretty interesting start with this with this episode. A couple things that Bonnie touched on that I'd like to expand on. The vibration. I believe, through my experience with interacting with other humans on this planet, that the frequency, the vibration, the collective consciousness, all these things are kind of the same thing. All ships rise in high tide, and the positive affirmations of one person can counteract the negative affirmations of about, I don't remember exactly, but it was a lot, 100,000 people maybe. So the power of light is 100,000 times powerful than that of darkness. And I do believe the number of light workers on the planet right now is growing. I think all of us here on this panel and a lot of other folks are light workers. What I mean by light workers is a person who's spreading peace, love, and happiness by elevating the frequency of the planet. So again, all ships rise in high tide, and the tide is rising. The spiritual, the minimum level is rising. And as I witness other humans and how just my interactions with other humans, it's apparent to me. It's apparent to me, and this is things that we can talk about in depth as this podcast continues. Another thing, this was 3 or 4 years ago. I was engaged in these groups, the spiritual workers, like a spiritual group, kind of like like a Tequested drum circle when it's a full moon and stuff. And the shaman was talking about as we get older, as we get older, we begin. There's potential to become jaded, and what I mean by jaded is polluted by the influence of our society. And Bonnie's talking about the pictures of herself when she was younger, and the innocence, the innocence that is portrayed in our eyes. And there is a way to recapture that. If we can find pictures of ourselves when we were younger, prior to being jaded, prior to being polluted, we can recapture that innocence in our soul and in our spirit. But it takes time and it takes effort. It takes concerted thought and adjusting how we think and how we perceive the world. There is an infinite child in all of us, and that child is forever present. Recapture your inner child and you will find peace. Ella.
I want to add something real quick and then I'll be done. What you're talking about is a technique that I learned. I took a picture of myself at maybe the age of 8, and I took a picture of myself maybe at the age of 16. And I took a picture of myself today. And I would sit on a couch. On one end, I would sit as me, and then I would set one where I was 6 or 8, and I would have a conversation. Then what I would do is I would get up from my place and go sit where the 6 or 8-year-old was, and I would communicate back to a picture of myself today. And I did the same thing with a picture of me like 15 or 16. And you would be amazed how I was able to connect, because I stepped into that time frame, that mental, whatever you want to call it. But I was a young person when I stepped into my younger self, talking to my older self, asking myself questions, whatever, and then myself would answer them. And then I did it with my older self. I didn't do it with my 6-year-old and my 15-year-old, those two. I just did it with my today's person and when I was younger and whatever. And I actually had conversations where things that I wouldn't even think of, but when I got up from my seat and went where the 8-year-old was, or I went where the 15, 16-year-old was, I was able to actually take on that mindset, and it brought me back to that moment, whatever. I mean, it actually did that. When I'm saying, wow, powerful stuff. So anyway, what you were just saying, Shannon, I just want to say, it's a real easy thing to do if you just take the pictures and set them and talk to them and interchange yourself with them. You can accomplish everything you're talking about in real time today.
Yeah, I think it's a very great idea. I did something similar to you, but without the pictures. It was actually, I was in a room and I was trying to remember passages of my childhood, and try to, fish in the memories, we are very, very old memories. And as a matter of fact, it helped me a hell of a lot. And I did that with the supervision of someone which is a specialist. And it was really very, very interesting, introspective. I remember things which I mean, incredible, which when I was about 4 or 5 years old, and it gave me a hell of a lot of strength.
The pictures will make it more dramatic and more real and more tangible because you can see it as if you can touch it and stepping into place. I'm not telling you what you did. I'm just saying that the pictures really
You're
work.
absolutely right. It was just a different technique with a different person. So
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying that you can do it on your own too. But
Correct.
the pictures really make a difference.
yeah, no, I did it with some specialist, and that person is actually one of my counselors, and it was a really interesting introspective opinion of yourself, and try to take all that BS that we gather throughout the years, all those, those terrible dirt that we put together in ourselves. Anyway, just some.
I just wanted to say this. There's a I would say like a divine optimism that a lot of youthful people have, children especially, and the word I use is then you get jaded. You get jaded by the world. And so I think that this is so powerful. Thank you, to the three of you, because, when I look back at childhood pictures, I do see that. I see like, the happy-go-lucky innocence and optimism. And, a lot of times, as you grow, and Jimmy said this, as you even get older and older, you do tend to get cynical about life. It can happen, jaded, I call it. And so, yeah, very powerful to capture that essence. I know a lot of you all know I could be a big child, though. I think that's what has been one of my saving graces, because I do have that childlike thing about me. And I think, that's been a blessing.
So I'm going to read a little bit of the comments, because we've been having a hell of a lot of comments from the people which are watching us. So Ben told a couple of minutes ago, "Hi, gorgeousness. Hope you all have a lovely day. I've been transitioning." So another person, we hope that all your transition works very nice for you. Hey, Keegan, I was telling that please record your voice to see the difference of the voice when you're transitioning. So Amanda says a big hello from San Francisco. We've got we've got someone from New Zealand, from Oregon, from Argentina. Jesus Christ. We're going to make a tour of the world. John is telling you, "I've been taking my hormone pills for a month now, but my boobs, they have been hurting like crazy. What kinds of do you any videos on that?" Well, if your boobs are hurting, usually it's because they're growing. So it's a very good sign.
When they stop hurting is when you gotta get worried, because they're not getting bigger. So it's like, enjoy that pain, because that pain means growth. And I don't know. I mean, when the pain goes away, you kind of like miss it. So
You're gonna miss it a lot, believe me. Adrian, he says a hi from Washington. And Keegan Dees, exactly. I have noticed change in me until I put pictures together and listen to videos with my voice in them. I helped me to be able to look at the mirror and be happy finally with what I'm seeing seeing back. Yeah, we all go through those transformations. It's nice that we, we see where we're going, and I mean, it is by far not for everybody important, but for many people. So, So,
Ella, if I could expand on that, please.
Please go ahead, Jimmy.
Okay, so the mirror. This is how people ask me, like, what's it feel like to be transgender? So I think the simplest, most basic way that I can explain it to people is when I look in the mirror, my brain expects to see a girl. And that is the simplest way that I can explain how I felt and how I feel. The more feminine I appear, the more in tune or in sync, or the sense of congruency of my mind, body, and spirit are all coming together. And that's very powerful. It's very powerful. And you know, last week we were talking about push-up bras and all that. I've had my breasts for I've had my breasts for almost 4 years now, and I could never imagine myself without them. And it's interesting. I knew that it would take time. I know I've had tattoos and body piercings and so on, that when you first get a tattoo or a body piercing, you know, it looks foreign in the beginning, but then after a year or so, you know, when you take these piercings out to clean them and so on, without them, you look, you know, naked or incomplete. And so I knew that that same would happen with my breasts, you know, as they grow and drop and fill out and so on. They've become part of my natural anatomy. And it's a beautiful thing. It's a feeling that I really haven't been able to put into words, but maybe I will one day. But it's a sense of maybe wholeness, not completeness, because I don't think we're ever complete. We're always building, but a sense of wholeness, a sense of you know, being home, maybe, you know, I'm home. I'm home.
I totally agree with that. I know how it is. I mean, I am right now, I have to tell you, I'm preparing for something. I'm going to be in a trip very soon. I'm going to go to Europe, first of all, for two things. The first is that I am going to see people I haven't seen for 40, 50 years. And most of them are going to see me for the first time as a girl, which is going to be challenging, but at the same time, I know that, you know, let's say the acceptance is there. So this is something I'm really looking forward to, because, you know, it's growing as well in your own body, and I feel so much better. I'm sure that I'm going to make a very, you know, than when I felt when I was not like that. So I'm sure that I'm going to make a kill. And of course, the other one is that I'm going to see my grandson, which I really absolutely enjoy and adore. Oh. And so, and you know, it's really nice because my two sons, which live in Switzerland, they are saying, "Hi, Nai, great to come," you know. So I already feel welcome, and you know, in that respect, I hope that everything goes all right. But you know, we'll see. But this is what I've been preparing lately. For me, it's a kind of milestone, because believe me or not, I have not traveled for months. No, for years, 2 years almost. No, for years, 2 years. So it's going to be something very, very interesting. So I've got here Keegan, which says, I am FM, and my chest is what I'm most self-conscious about. But after starting the hormone treatment, it has straightened me the size of my chest, and that it has helped me in my mental health tremendously as I wait to get my top surgery.
Ella, real quick, when you're looking at the screen to see what people are writing in, do you have the volume turned off on that?
Yes, I do. Or both.
Because we're getting a lot of back feed when you're talking. It's like you can hear somebody else in the background talking, or like your voice is delayed coming back or something. I'm just pointing out that there is something going on in the video, so I don't know what it is. Anyway.
Thanks. No, all the everything is turned on. All the volumes are turned on, off. So
Okay.
I don't know what. Somewhere it's
Yeah, I'm hearing you fine, Ella. I don't know what's weird. I'm not hearing that. So I don't know. Maybe some connections are getting it and some aren't.
Hey, listen, if it's just mine, then that's cool. I heard it, so I had to say something.
Well,
Oh.
and Ella, didn't you forgot to tell them you're taking me to Switzerland in your suitcase? But actually,
I know you're taking me, but you have to share the suitcase with the presents because there are so many.
Raji, you look excellent tonight. I don't know what you did, whether it's the hair, the makeup, or everything, but you look absolutely
Bobby,
fantastic.
you know
And
how
Shannon-
to flatter a girl.
Yeah, and Shannon, them titties are to die for.
Yes.
Thank you.
Honey, those are busted out.
I have to look for a good bra as well, I tell you that. It's not always easy. It's not always easy.
Yeah, I went to a doctor and I was thinking about having my boobs done because I've had them like 40 years. So they're a little, I call them longs, but you know, the doctor said he can do a lift and put an implant and make them bigger, but you know, mine are like natural and I love the way they shake and jiggle and move. And if I was to go ahead, listen, this is, you know, you talk about, this is a real issue. I mean, something to think about, you know, I mean, I don't know. Everybody has their things that they got to do, but I actually went to a doctor and, you know, just to get some ideas, but yeah, do you do it or do you not do it? You know, I mean, it's like, I don't know.
As far
And
as
that's a good
I,
point, Bonnie.
as far as I see it, my interpretation of, I think for a transgender person is to take action to actualize their self. It's the ultimate form of human expression. You know, anyone can get a tattoo and stuff and lose weight, gain weight, all that, but to adjust your gender to match your mind and your spirit, I think that's the ultimate form of human expression. And it takes a lot. It takes a lot. But the roads, the grandest of destinations. Let's see, how does it go? You see, the most difficult roads lead to the grandest of destinations.
Absolutely.
You know, you look at an Olympic athlete, years and years and years of just insane training, but look at the result. You know, so in life, you know, I live my life like I'm in the Olympic Games every day. You know, I don't hold anything back. I'm full throttle. And the reward, the result is a sense of fulfillment, the life experience, you know, the depth in which we, and I don't want to use the word enjoy or appreciate or I deserve this or that, the level in which our psyche engages in the act of being alive. Life is not a spectator sport. The more we participate, the more alive we become. And that's a topic for a whole nother podcast. Ella.
Yes, I absolutely agree with you. You have to give your fullest to whatever you do, and that's how you get things back. I mean, you know, if you are a spectator in life, you probably will see some things passing around you and nothing happens. I totally agree with that. Anyway, dear trans gurus, any other theme, any other comments, any other that you want to close?
Well, I just want to say our girl Amy Snyder, she had a good run on Jeopardy.
She's still going. Did she lose?
Yesterday was the
Last
last
night.
one.
She
Yeah,
lost?
last night.
She lost, yeah.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah, well, she lost only $1.4 million she won. And she's the
Yeah.
second
And
biggest.
she's number 2 in the history of the show. She's not number 2. Yeah. She had a good run.
She did.
So
too.
let me. This just occurred to me. Last week, I touched on the principle known as the Akashic Records, and the Akashic Records is a name given to all the information that ever has been thought of, is currently being thought of, and will be thought of. And the Akashic Records, so to speak, is information stored in a state of vibration. It's a frequency. And then as I watch, and I had the opportunity to watch Amy on the Jeopardy show, and the speed in which she recalled information, amazing. And information and questions and so on that I've never even heard of. And I think, you know, when I was much younger, I listened to a lot of Zig Ziglar, and I listened to a lot of Les Brown, 2 very passionate motivational speakers. And I would listen to these folks, and I'm like, where does all this stuff come from? Neither one of these guys have anything written down. It's just flowing through them. And see, this is what Bonnie was talking about, when we vibrate if our body, if our mind, if our consciousness vibrates at the same frequency where this information is stored at, we'll have access to it. And you know, so that's something I'm gonna have to think about this, but to have access to that much information, you have to plug yourself into a certain frequency where all this information just kind of flows through you at the right time and at the right place and at the right moment, and all, you know, it's like the planets line up. And what I was talking about earlier, I just wanted to close with this: the power of the human spirit. The power of the human spirit is limitless. The power of the human spirit is only limited by the thoughts that we give it. The human spirit is, I'm here to tell you, if we have the ability to harness the power and the energy of our own spirit, we can do anything. And it's a mindset, and it's how we think and behave and align with certain frequencies and vibrations that hold love and light. Ella.
Yeah, I do agree with you. Bonnie, any kind of final comments that you want to bring?
Basically, you know, you're making decisions from logic and not emotion. And I know I was talking about like my boobs, you know, I love the way they jiggle and move, but if they didn't jiggle and move like that, even though they would look better, I don't know that I would be happier. So, I mean, I got to decipher between logic and emotion. And not that it's a big deal, but what I'm saying is it's part of the journey. I'm not turning the pen over to somebody else to make a decision. And in our life, as long as you are the author of your own journey, you won. I mean, what I'm trying to say is everything isn't always going to be perfect. And you know what? Wisdom is learned, it's not taught. And bottom line is sometimes you're going to screw up, and that's how you're going to learn that that's something you shouldn't do. And as far as that goes, you know, there is no right, there is no wrong. You can only be responsible for how you feel. And if others around you do not feel the same way, you do not have to accept it. You can stay inside your bubble, and you can hear it, you can acknowledge it, but you don't have to actually take it on. So that's all. I mean, just be your own person, be in control, and love your life.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that the power of, you know, of you trying to visualize what you want to do and to dream is so important, because that makes you.
I visualize everything every day, multiple times. And that's the reason my life is what it is, because I see it before it even happens, and I experience it as if it has happened, and I embrace it. And subconsciously, that's what goes in there. And what vibrates out from the universe is exactly that.
Yeah, that's so true. I want to close with two things. I want to talk about determination, and I want to talk about strategic determination. You know, you can be determined, and you can jump up and down 1,000 times and say you're physically going to make it to the moon, and that is, you know, it's not going to happen. You're going to have to get in a spaceship to do that. But you can be determined to plant a number of trees, which then one day could turn into a big forest. And so, you know, when I am determined about my life, I try to be more strategic about it and clever about it. And then I want to talk about manifestation, and all, you know, my fellow co-hosts really just touched on that. Manifestation is a magical thing. You can declare the things that you want and be determined and focused, and, you know, declare that this is what you want to happen for your life. But there's part that the universe does, and that's the magical part. A lot of times when we desire something, we have in our mind the way it's supposed to manifest and be delivered to us. But I just want to encourage people to stay open to the magic, because sometimes you get what you want in ways that you least expected. So I'll just leave you with those two things, and wish everyone love, happiness, peace, good health, prosperity, and many wonderful blessings. Ella?
Okay, I think with those words, I believe manifestation is a very, very important thing. Anyway, it's a very, very important thing in my life too. But with those words, I think that we're going to say bye for today, and we're going to tune in next week again. I will see you all next week. Okay, have a wonderful weekend, have a wonderful week, and bye everybody.
Namaste.
Namaste. So we are not live